Hi, I'm Julia from Brazil. Please like and subscribe. I live with my single mom in a small town full of rich people in big mansions. But we weren't one of them. Mom worked here as a maid. She would also make this amazing jam from some fruit trees in our backyard and sell it at the Sunday market. We didn't have a lot, but we had each other. Once when I was 5, she took me with her to one of the mansions where she worked. As I waited for her outside, 2 girls my age came out and started playing with the most beautiful dolls. I asked if I could join them, and we were having a really good time when suddenly a woman came out and started shouting, "What are you doing with this girl? You'll catch lice from her."
What? I don't have lice. You can check my head, see?
Ew, get away from me. You two, come inside right now. Wow, what a jerk. Growing up, I didn't have much to do with the rich kids, but in the 6th grade, Mom enrolled me in the fanciest school in town. I've been saving up for it, Julia. You're not gonna end up a maid like me. You'll be someone amazing one day. Well, for now, I was the school outcast in my old clothes and shoes, but I didn't care if the others ignored me. I was here to work hard and study my butt off. But there was one girl in my class who stood out more than I did, Andy. She was a total troublemaker who spent half her time in detention. One day in class, the teacher asked everyone what they'd like to do when they grew up. I said I'd like to be a doctor so I could help other people. But when Andy's turn came, she stood up and said,
"When I grow up, I want to have 100 kids so I can have 100 friends, and no one can say no to being my friend. They will love me and fear me."
That's a really silly answer, Andy.
Fine, I'll become a gangster then. If I can't be loved, I will be feared.
And with that, she jumped onto the table and started doing some weird karate moves as everyone started laughing. The teacher sent her off to the principal, and she just left grinning. A few weeks later, there was a festival in town, and Mom and I decided to set up a stall to sell her jams. Andy came over, and I asked her what she'd like to buy.
"Oh, I never buy anything. I either steal it or take it for free."
And she just stuck her hand in a bottle and started eating it with her fingers. I pounced on her, and we broke into a fight. But Mom pulled us apart right away and started apologizing to her. She even sent her off with free jam.
"Mom, why did you say sorry when it wasn't my fault?"
"Julia, we are the poorest here. We can't afford to pick fights with these people. Promise me that you won't fight her again." I reluctantly promised, although now I wished I'd kicked Andy's butt harder while I had the chance. A few days later, I was on my way to the market to buy some garden supplies when a couple of senior girls from the school blocked my way. One of them pinned my arms behind me while the other took the money I had in my pocket. They pushed me to the ground and started running. As I chased them, someone whizzed past me on roller skates and flew right at them, knocking them both to the ground. It was Andy.
"How dare you bully my victim? Only I can bully her. If I ever see you bothering her again, I will hunt you down and kill your entire family and your cats. No, wait, cats are too cute. Just your ugly family, then."
The girls got scared and ran away, and I was shocked that Andy had defended me. Thank you, Andy. I really hadn't expected this from you.
"Shut up, loser, and don't tell anyone that I saved your sorry butt. I don't want my reputation ruined."
And with that, she skated away. But I knew now she wasn't as bad as she pretended to be. So the next day at school, I sat with her at lunch and pushed an extra sandwich towards her. She looked really surprised, then picked up the sandwich and started eating it.
"You're poor and your mama's ugly."
Oh my God, what is the matter with you?
Whoa, calm down. Friends joke with each other, right? Like, "Hey, you're ugly. That's why your dad left you." Someone said that to me once. That's what friends do.
No, they don't. Wait, did you just say we're friends?
I guess, since you're practically begging me. You can also be my minion and carry my stuff.
Let's just start off with being friends, okay? And since that day, we were. I was happy to finally have a friend in school, even if it was this weird Andy. One day after school, Andy asked me to come over to her mansion, but when we got there, I was kind of shocked. The place looked like it hadn't been cleaned in weeks. When we went to the kitchen for food, all the pots were empty, even the fridge. Where's all the food?
How would I know? My mom's hardly ever around, and my blind old grandma doesn't know anything. She doesn't care if I starve.
For the first time, I felt really sorry for Andy. It was obvious that she was completely neglected here. I told her to come to my place instead. And as we were leaving, we spotted her grandma walking down the hallway. Andy called out to her,
Hey, oldie, how long will you live? You've already been around for a century and you do nothing except finish all the food. It's time to go now.
Her grandma yelled angrily and charged at us with her walking stick, but we ran off giggling before she could catch us. And since that day, I started inviting Andy often to eat with us at my house. A few weeks later, I found out about an amazing scholarship opportunity for the biggest school in the city. It was in a different town, but Mom told me she'd be happy to move if I got in. So I applied for it and started studying day and night. On the day of the exam, I was on my way when I heard someone screaming in pain behind a bush, and I was shocked to see Andy on the ground.
Oh, Julia, I fell down from my bicycle and I'm in so much pain. I'm sure I've broken my ankle. Please help me and take me home. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm gonna die before my grandma.
Jeez, Andy, stop being so melodramatic. You'll be okay. I got you. Lean on me. I was getting so late for my exam, but I just couldn't leave Andy alone in pain. I took her home and then ran to the exam venue like crazy. But when I got there, I was told that I was late and couldn't sit for the exam. I was devastated, but Mom consoled me when I got home and said there would always be other chances. The next day, I thought I'd check up on Andy and Mom came along, but when we entered her gate, I was stunned to see her playing football. Her ankle seemed perfectly fine, and I was furious. You witch! Yesterday was all an act, wasn't it? You weren't hurt. You just wanted me to miss my exam. Why? How can anyone be such a big jerk, Andy?
Well, I can be. I've had years of training, and I was actually saving you from disappointment. You weren't going to get the scholarship anyway. Your dreams are too big for a maid's daughter.
That was it. I charged at her and knocked her down into the mud. As we screamed and fought, her mother came running out and went bonkers on me. How dare you touch my daughter? Oh, maybe if you were around more, you could have raised your daughter better. And she wouldn't have been such a horrible person. You two really deserve each other. Just then, Mom stepped in and practically went down on her knees, apologizing to Andy's mom. I stormed off furiously and Mom followed me. Andy, are you insane? Go back and say sorry to her. We can't afford to. Just stop it, Mom. Why are you so afraid of these rich people? You don't understand, Julia. She's on the school board and could have you kicked out. I don't care. I don't want to live in fear like you. I just wish you'd stop being a coward. I regretted those words instantly, but I felt too mad to apologize. I ran home, packed my stuff, and asked one of our neighbor's friends if I could stay with them for a while. Mom gave me some space, and anytime I saw that Andy in school, I just walked the other way. As I was walking home one day, I saw a poster outside a shop about an amateur food business contest. The winner would get prize money and a chance to work with a big company. I immediately thought of Mom, and I decided I had to make up with her and tell her about it. Mom, I'm really sorry for all those things I said. You're the strongest person I know, and you've always worked so hard to give me the best. I was angry at Andy, and I took it out on you. Please forgive me, and let me help you win this contest. I just know you can win. You're a strong girl, honey. I always believe in you. Mom hugged me tight, and we sent in her name right away. Each contestant was supposed to prepare 200 pieces of their own organic product. Mom and I worked like crazy making all that jam. And the night before the contest, we hired a van and loaded the bottles to take them to the venue. The next day, Mom had gone earlier to set up the stall. I waited for the driver, but he didn't show up. And when I went to the garage, the van wasn't there. I searched everywhere, shouting and crying, but I just couldn't find it. I rushed to the venue to tell Mom, and she was shocked. We just stood empty-handed in a corner while the other contestants set up their products. I was about to walk over to the judges to tell them what had happened when suddenly someone called out to me. I turned around to see Andy waving to me from our van.
Julia, I found it. Your jams are all in there.
Where was this? How did you get it? How did you even know?
You moron, this is not the time to talk about this. I'll explain later.
Mom and I went on stage and showed our products to the judges. They seemed really impressed. Sometime later, when the results were announced, we were shocked when Mom and I were declared the winners. We screamed and jumped for joy. I even pulled Andy into her hug, but seconds later, I pushed her away.
Wait a minute. Did you take the van, Andy, just to mess with me again? No, of course not. I came by to wish you luck when I saw you crying over your missed van. And well, I'm friends with half the thieves in this town. It wasn't hard for me to find it. I don't understand you, Andy. You went through all this trouble to save the day. Then why did you make me miss my exam? Because I knew that if you took that exam, you would have qualified and you would have left town. I don't want you to leave me. Just saying that makes me feel sick. And that's why I never wanted any friends. And I grinned and hugged her. She was such a weirdo. After winning the contest, Mom started working with a big food company. And soon enough, we were able to shift into a lovely new home. Once it was ready, Mom and I went over to Andy's place one day to invite her over for dinner. But when we got there, we saw her mom at the door with a suitcase. And Andy seemed to be upset. Mom, please, don't leave me with Grandma for a month. I hate being here alone with her. Why don't I come with you?
Don't act like a baby, Andy. You have everything you could need. Why are you always whining? I can't take you to meet my boyfriend's family. He doesn't even know I have a child.
Seeing the hurt on Andy's face, I couldn't take it anymore.
Hey, Andy. I just came here to tell you that I'm always here for you, and so is my mom. We're like your family. Do you want to come and live with us? And for the first time ever, I saw Andy cry. She shouted a big yes and hugged us. But suddenly, her mom turned livid. What do you mean, yes? You can't just go live with them. You're gonna leave me? Your mama?
Oh, Mom, stop acting like you care. You should be relieved. Don't worry, I'll check up on Grandma, and I'll come see you every 3 months. That should be enough for you, right? Ciao.
And with that, we left. When we reached home, I took Andy to her very own room. From now on, this is yours. We'll get all your stuff and set it up. And if you need anything, just ask. Later that night, when I was sleeping, I suddenly screamed when someone jumped on my bed. It was Andy.
Scoot over. I'm sleeping here.
But you've got your own bed.
You said I could have anything. Ow! You just kicked me. I hate you, Andy. I love you too, Julia.